it. We're going to tackle one of the biggest, toughest questions out there, a question that, has been around forever. I mean, if God is real, if he's all-powerful, why does he hide? Why do we get silence when we're praying for a thunderclap? But here's the thing you've got to understand. Asking this doesn't mean your faith is weak. Not at all. In fact, you're in some pretty good company. Some of the most important people in the Bible ask the exact same thing. I mean, look at this list. You've got King David crying out, "How long are you going to hide from me?" Isaiah just states it as a fact. Truly, you are a God who hides himself. Job, in the middle of all his pain, is desperate to find him. And get this, even Jesus' own disciples pull him aside and ask, "Hey, why are you showing yourself to us but not to the whole world?" See, this question, it's just part of the deal. It's woven right into the spiritual journey. So what we've got here is this incredible tension, this paradox, right? The Bible says God is revealed, but also hidden. He's right here, but there's a veil. He's speaking, but it's in a whisper. So what gives? Why? What's the point of it all? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dig into. Okay, so to get to the bottom of this, we've got to play detective a bit. Let's start by looking for clues, and you'll see there's a really interesting pattern that shows up again and again in the Old Testament. Just check out this timeline. It all starts back in Eden, right? Adam hides from God, and then this kind of reciprocal hiding thing begins. Then you have Moses. God hides him in the cleft of a rock, not to push him away, but to protect him. His full glory would have been too much. It was an act of mercy. And Elijah? He's expecting this big show, an earthquake, a fire. But God's not in any of that. He's in the quiet, gentle whisper. You have to learn to listen differently. And then there's Job, who goes through this epic silence from God until he's completely humbled and changed into someone who can actually hear. And all of this just perfectly sets up what Augustine said centuries ago. He basically nailed it. He said, God isn't hidden because he's far away. No, it's because we are far from him in our hearts. The problem isn't physical distance, it's a spiritual one. Maybe, just maybe, the feeling that God is hidden has more to do with us than with him. Okay, so that's the Old Testament. Now let's jump to the New Testament, because this is where the plot really thickens. The whole paradox gets way more intense and way more personal when Jesus shows up on the scene. This part is just, wow. Think about it. Jesus is called the image of the invisible God. He's supposed to be the ultimate perfect revelation. And yet, what did people see? They looked with their normal, everyday eyes and just saw a carpenter's kid from a small town. God was literally walking the earth right in front of them, but he was hidden in plain sight, disguised in human skin. And he did the same thing with his teaching. He told these stories, these parables, and he straight up told his disciples, "To you, I'm revealing the secrets of the kingdom, but to them, I'm hiding it." Seeing, they don't see. Hearing, they don't understand. It's like the truth had a password, and the password wasn't about being smart. It was about being ready to receive it. It suggests that revelation isn't just about getting new facts. It's about becoming a new kind of person. And it doesn't stop there. Even after the resurrection, this pattern continues. It's amazing. Mary Magdalene sees the risen Jesus and thinks he's the gardener. 2 disciples walk and talk with him for hours on the road to Emmaus and have no clue who he is. So what was the trigger? When did they finally get it? Only when their inner spiritual eyes were opened. When he said Mary's name in that specific way, boom, she knew. When he broke the bread just like he used to, boom, they knew. It was an internal switch that had to be flipped. Okay, so we've looked at all these clues from the Old Testament, from the New Testament, and it all leads us here to the big reveal, the central reason for this whole strategy of hiddenness. And here it is. It comes down to this. There are 2 totally different ways of seeing the world. There's what the Apostle Paul calls the natural man. This is us in our default mode, relying on our 5 senses, what we can see, hear, and touch. And from that perspective, spiritual things just look like nonsense. They don't compute. So God intentionally hides from those physical senses. Why? To force us, to invite us, to awaken a different part of ourselves, a spiritual being that's capable of perceiving a whole different reality. And hey, this is not some new radical idea. We're talking ancient wisdom here. Athanasius, one of the great early church fathers, summed it all up in this mind-blowing sentence. He said God became man so that man might become capable of God. The whole point of Jesus was to kickstart a deep internal transformation in us, to upgrade our spiritual hardware, you could say, so that we can actually connect with God. So that's the theory. But what does this look like in practice? let's look at some proof in action. How does this whole process of encountering a hidden God actually change someone? Jacob's story is a perfect case study. Picture this. It's dark, he's alone, and he gets into this all-night wrestling match with some mysterious stranger. He refuses to let go until he gets a blessing. And in that struggle with this hidden, unseen being, everything changes. He's transformed. He walks away with a permanent limp, sure, but he also walks away with a brand new name and a totally new identity, Israel. The old Jacob, the schemer, he couldn't see God. But this new person, Israel, he can. And this idea just echoes down through history. You hear it from John Calvin, who said, it's not about trying harder with the eyes and ears you already have. No, the Spirit has to create totally new senses inside you. Then you have Gregory of Nyssa, who puts it beautifully. He says you can't just look at God. Your own soul has to be changed into the same shape as the one it's looking for, like tuning a radio to the right frequency. You have to become like God to perceive God. And then, bringing it right up to our time, C.S. Lewis gives us another crucial piece of the puzzle. He points out that this hiddenness protects our freedom, right? If God just showed up in a way that was so overwhelming no one could possibly deny it, where's the choice? Love and faith have to be a choice, not something we're forced into. So, when you put all of this together, where does it leave us? It means we have to do a complete 180 on how we view this whole divine hiddenness thing. It's not a problem we need to solve. It's not a bug in the system. It's a feature. First and foremost, hiddenness does not mean distance. It's not God giving us the cold shoulder. It's not absence. Instead, what it is an invitation. An active, loving invitation to go deeper. It's a call to move past what your eyes and ears tell you and to start exercising your spiritual muscles. It's an invitation to become the kind of being who can see him. And this analogy just perfectly captures the heart of it. It's like a loving father teaching his toddler to walk. What does he do? He lets go. He steps back a little. Not to abandon the child, of course not. He does it to encourage that first step. He's right there, ready to catch them, but he steps back to strengthen their legs. If God never let go, we'd never learn to walk on our own, spiritually speaking. And here's the best part. This whole situation, it's temporary. This state of hiddenness has an expiration date. It's a training ground, a season of transformation. But the ultimate promise is that one day the training ends. The veil is torn away for good. And we will see him face to face, just as he is. So we end up right back where we started, but hopefully with a completely new way of looking at it. God's hiddenness isn't a cosmic game of hide and seek. It's not a sign of his absence. It's a wise, patient, loving strategy to build something new inside of us, the very capacity to see him. And that changes the question entirely, doesn't it? The question isn't, why is God hiding from me? The real question, the one that's now on us, is this. If his hiddenness is an invitation, how are you going to learn to see?